Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 4 of Off the Platform.
My leg was on there. Is that alright? I'm sitting like this. Okay.
Why'd you cut me off, bro? That was a good intro.
Oh, sorry. We keep it going.
Anyways, actually, I wasn't in Michael's already. Hey guys, and welcome back. Oh, that's weird. Hey guys, and welcome back to episode.
How about
4.
Tony?
Together.
Psych!
Welcome, hey guys, and welcome back to episode 4 of
Sit down,
Off
sit down.
Your
Oh, really.
Stop screaming, bro.
Alright.
Holy shit.
3, 2, 1. Ah!
Huh?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 4 of Off Your Platform.
Off the platform.
Off
Oh
the
my
platform. Yeah. So, anyways, today we are talking about what happened 2 weeks ago? No, last week.
What do you mean? This was like 2 days ago. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
2 days ago.
Yeah, 2
sorry.
days ago.
We just had a competition at Adonis.
Adonis Campbelltown, Warriors of the West 7.
Yep.
I had 2 of my... Yeah, just I was thinking about something else.
Yeah, I was thinking about something else. Keep it
I
rolling,
had,
boys.
2 of my lifters compete at that comp, and we're just kind of going to run through what what we did to help them get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was coaching them, obviously.
Mhm.
Tommy helped me handle in the back room.
Yep.
And David helped them out throughout the prep.
Helped.
Helped.
Anyways.
Yeah. So
Yeah. First question. So Josh and Pat, this is their second time competing.
it's the second time competing. They
Yeah.
did a novice comp back in
December, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't December.
Oh, January.
I think it was like August.
August.
I think it was. I think it was August.
Because
Hello.
it was hot, remember?
Yeah.
It's be springtime. It wasn't. It was like
November.
It was like November.
October, November.
Yeah,
I think it was
yeah.
October, November.
It's
This guy
pretty
doesn't
hot.
even know he's doing.
It was pretty hot.
Bro, do you know how long ago that was?
When was my comp?
Which one?
The very most recent one.
The most recent one. I don't know, like 2012.
I'm not,
Damn.
bro, I just came out of the womb at that time, bro.
Yeah, so how was it? So obviously this is their second comp, the
Yeah.
first sanctioned comp.
It was
Sorry.
a first ever sanctioned comp.
Yeah.
APA comps in general have been very fun to handle at and compete at. It's been very nice. The comp itself ran very smooth.
Yeah.
Both Pat and Josh did very well.
Mhm.
But everyone knows that they could have done better.
Okay.
And I feel like it's a bit on me. It's a bit on kind of like everyone, where it's like there's little things here and there that we could have fixed a bit earlier than we should have.
Yep.
But Patrick ended with a 625 total.
Oh, wow.
Came first.
Yep.
Out of 2. Josh.
First is first. We'll take it.
Josh came third
Yep.
with a 730 total.
Oh wow.
Sorry, 630. 630.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I was gonna say. That's gonna be Simon. It's gonna be Simon, bro.
I've been talking about 700 a lot. So. Yeah. Pat total 725, 625. Josh total 630.
By 5.
Hmm?
By 5 each.
Sorry, what?
What are you saying?
Say again. Josh 630.
Josh 630, Pat 625.
Oh, 625. Okay.
Yeah.
35.
And yeah, Josh came third out of 3, but we weren't expecting him to do anything crazy. It was just more like we still made
mean?
huge
That lift was
progress.
amazing.
Yeah,
What do
we
you
still
mean?
made huge progress from the first comp.
Yeah.
We didn't think they were going to qualify, and to be quite frank, they weren't close to qualifying.
Yeah.
I think Josh needed 690, Pat needed 730 to qualify. So this was more just a comp to do whatever we
feel.
can. Yeah, get a feel for it, get
Yeah.
a feel for your first sanction comp, and just push as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Josh went 8 for 9, missed his third attempt squats. Pat went 7 for 9, missed his third squat and bench.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a pretty big win for them.
How did you handle? So obviously during comps, for the people who don't know, so you have like a set list of weight that they want to target. Let's say they fail that second, third, whatever attempt. Do you kind of push for that weight, or do you just? What would you normally do? In that
Well, you
situation?
can't drop back. You're not allowed to. Once you pick an attempt, you can't go lower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the rules.
Yes.
You have
RNG, but
to.
just spin a wheel. Like, you know, if they hit it.
Yeah, you have to either repeat the weight or go up.
wow.
There's no going backwards. So
Yeah.
that's why you'll see with the way that I do it personally is first attempts are pretty much 100% guaranteed. Like
Yeah.
during first and second attempts, is like if you miss it, it's on you. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn.
I'm picking
Damn.
first attempts that I know you can hit 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to give us a runway to do a good third. I know some coaches do it differently, where I think a few more people have kind of talked about it recently, where it's like whether you're picking 3 actual attempts or you're picking your first 2 attempts as warm-ups to have a proper attempt on your third kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah. It's kind of like you, based off training, like we know how they were during training with their peak weeks and everything. The interesting thing with both of them was you didn't really see them push until like the last block. Like that, like yeah, they're both naturally very calm and they're very social in terms of the powerlifting side of it.
Yeah.
Like, but I think after this comp, we might actually see a bit more of a push out of them.
Yeah.
Especially Josh. Like Josh really wants to do something great.
Yeah.
With like deadlifts especially.
Yeah.
Because we pulled 255 in training at like an RP 8, and he ended up 270 at like 7.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
Type of gods.
yeah,
Type of gods.
worked really well.
Would you say what was in each of like respectful, issues or flaws? What would
Flaws even damn.
in the competition wise?
Yeah.
What would you want them to improve from, let's say, when they start at novice to now doing at Sank? What is something that you want each of them to kind of like take in or like want to work on?
To understand that they can get so much stronger than they already are. Because like Kelvin says this a lot.
Yeah.
And I love it for Kelvin, where it's like everyone's kind of just being a bitch. And everyone can push so much harder than this. What the fuck are you doing?
Wait, it's a fat mosquito.
This guy's always ruining the
No, look, guys. If you had a mosquito on you, would you let it leave? Like, stay and suck your blood?
Let it suck you, bro.
No, I got precious blood, bro. My blood is crispy. Alright, sorry about that. Let's keep going.
Yeah, so I think everyone's just being a bitch, and like everyone has so much more room to push, but they just don't because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And this comp, I feel like, opened up Josh and Pat's eyes to the potential that they have. Like they don't I think they're kind of at a point where it's like they look at the top lifters and they're like, oh, I don't think I'm ever going to get there, so I'm not even going to try.
So again, back to the whole mentality issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like it was nice to see going into deadlifts. They were both like, I want to lift something big.
Yeah, they were very motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about Pat. That guy looked like he was about to sleep.
Yeah, Pat.
that guy was like in the back room, and he was just like, "Do you need water?"
I told him to sit down before his first attempt to bench, and the guy was like going to fall asleep on the
Yeah,
on
he
the
was just
platform,
like,
and then going into second attempt, I was like, I'm not sitting down anymore. I was like, what the hell even happened? Because I asked him about his sleep, and I was like, oh, I slept pretty good. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure, bro? That's the whole communication thing again. Like, Pat's that kind of person where it's like he's never going to say how he actually feels.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. When I treat him as well, says it's fine.
Yeah, he always says it's fine.
I start touch it because I'm like, oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it's good.
"No, no pain at all. No pain at all."
Yeah, but I think that's to do with like a lot of lifters too, where it's like everyone can push a lot harder than they already are.
In terms of coaching, what was the difference in coaching for them at novice and coaching for them at Sank? Like, what did you have to change?
Well, in terms of coaching wise on game day, it wasn't like a whole much to change. It was more like they, as a lifter gets more experience, they become a lot easier to coach on game day because then they know what the plan is. All they got to do is warm up, lift, and that's literally it.
They just remember to eat as well.
That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
And it gets easier and easier as you become a more experienced lifter, because you know that you need to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of prep, it was a handful of things that we changed. More just like how we laid out his both of the microcycles and all that. So it's just like moving deadlifts and squats around was the main thing, because the benches both improved quite a lot from the novice comp naturally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
100%.
Pat was chasing a 170 bench. Didn't happen because I think in training, he was pushing for it a little too hard in bench.
Oh yeah.
And we ended up at like a 160 on comp day, which still was
good. Yeah.
Yeah, but those are just things that we'll pick up as we go.
Yeah. I feel like nowadays, not nowadays, how I see it, it's very discouraging when you'll see who you're competing and then your top set, your third attempt is their opening. It's kind of like, oh fuck. So is there any point in me doing this?
Yeah, but there's really just two ways you can look at it. It's either like, oh,
I'll get there as well, or like,
it's like I'm gonna give up now, or I'm just gonna push harder so I can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also you look at like we talk about this all the time with like lifters and their coaches, where it's like stop comparing yourselves.
True. That's very true.
Yeah, it's like if you keep comparing yourselves, then you just keep you keep demotivating yourself for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Or it's like if you're self-aware enough, then you just be like, okay, this person's at that spot. What can I do to slowly creep my way there?
Yeah.
Which is literally what I did with Jesse. Like Jesse, there was a point where my end of block numbers, like my peak numbers, would be Jesse's week 1 numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck. Like, my goal is to make each week get closer and closer to Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you try to turn it into a motivation kind of thing.
yeah, I turn it to a motivation.
that's
This
great.
is like I want to get stronger.
Yeah.
So what the fuck else am I doing this for?
That's very true. But I feel like there's a lot of people where it's kind of like,
There's different people.
yeah, there's some people who see that and it's like, oh, I give up, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and there's
you
also
get
the
those.
people. There's also the people that just want to do it for the fun of themselves. And it's like that's the important thing. If you're a lifter that's like, oh, I want to compete because I want to get stronger for myself, then why the fuck are you comparing yourself?
That's true.
What's the point?
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, Tommy, that was your first.
No, it's still here, bro. It's still here. I'm scared, bro. I'm so scared, man. This shit is taking blood. It's gonna take the ink out of my tab.
Okay, as I'm gonna ask this question for Tommy, and he's gonna answer. Quick timer right here. We see how Tony.
Oh, no.
Quick quiz, not quick quiz. Quick side mission. We're gonna see how fast Tony solves his Rubik's cubes.
Rubik's Cube?
Anyway, sorry. As he does this, this is your first time assistant handling with Tony.
What do you mean? It's like my third time.
Your third time?
Yeah, but this is like a sanctioned.
The first sanction?
Yeah, first sanction, yeah.
How'd you feel?
I
how
like
was
it. Yeah, it's fun being back there. Like,
What was your role?
my role was just load up plates. No, I was getting them ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was just like a role that, whoa.
The fuck?
That was like, that was pretty crazy.
I'm a nerd.
The timer's right here.
Yeah,
so.
the time is right here somewhere.
He did it before he answered the
Yeah,
question.
he did it before I answered the question.
If I
That's
did it, I'll
wild.
probably like the whole night. That's crazy.
Yeah, like my kind of favorite role, especially when I'm handling, especially from like the other 2 comps I've done, I love like G'ing them up, like before they lift. I don't know, it's something I just love to do. It's
Yeah.
fun as
Stop
like,
screaming at people.
yeah, I just love screaming at people, you know.
He's releasing all his stress throughout the week.
Yeah, literally, yeah. And like that was more of like my main role-ish.
Yeah.
Loading up plates, obviously. Gave me, I think we planned the numbers together as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that was something new.
What do you mean by playing numbers?
So I wanted to. So Tommy is doing his PT cert at the moment, and
Yep.
I would assume that he wants to get into powerlifting coaching
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give him a bit more insight on how I actually go through game day. So like the week before, or like, it was like 3-4 days before.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days.
We sat down. I already had numbers in my mind of what I was going to give Pat and Josh, but we're like, hey Tommy, this was the peak week numbers, and you've seen them train before. What would you put for the attempts?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it
we
was
had
just
to run
like,
through
it's
that.
like a test. Passed amazingly. So God everything I do. But yeah,
So just kind of give Tommy more insight on
Yeah.
how we think about things. When
yes,
we,
and that kind of gave me a new perspective because it was like, I think there was a few numbers where I put that was just like either too low or too high.
yeah, and then you thought about it.
Yeah, and
Like,
then I
once-
thought
once you
about it and I
explain
was like, oh shit.
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this instead. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So kind of getting into that stage was a bit better. I'm more of not even an assistant. I'm just like a, what is it called when somebody shadows?
Intern.
Intern. Yeah, it's like an intern. Literally just an intern for
Yeah,
Tony at
yeah.
the moment. Yeah.
I didn't do a great job on the day of just helping you out. I was kind of just like, Tommy, grab something.
Yeah. It was like, Tommy, go do this. Yeah, it was like an actual intern.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's game day, so
Yeah.
everyone's stressed, everyone's in the zone.
No, it's good
so
though.
it's
Is you kind of have to do it. To
A lot of
understand
things that I feel like you do on game day is just like it's more about how fast you can adapt to things, especially
Yeah.
with the timing of stuff and all that.
That's the one thing I'm trying to get used to with the timing.
Yeah.
Because like when I was looking at the sheet, I would always keep going by the time, and I'm not adapting. Like
Yeah.
those for squat and bench.
Yeah.
When I was warming.
So we
warming
have
up for
our
squats.
estimated times of this is when squats start and this is when we think it'll finish, but it always changes on the day.
Yeah, like somebody could like, let's say somebody drops the bar, takes like 2 minutes for the announcer to be like, oh, please guys, don't do this, blah, 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 blah. Then you kind of have to adapt to that.
Yeah.
To kind of just change it on the spot.
Yeah.
Be able to know what to do.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I kind of struggled with. Yeah.
But that just takes time.
Yeah, it's
experience.
kind of, because like the first 2, Tony kind of did that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
the first 2
I just
comps-
do it because it's a habit now. It's just like
Yeah.
I'm always on my phone just calculating the time
Yeah.
just in case. Yeah.
So that's like the things I did in game day, but it was fun. I like it. The energy was amazing. Yeah, especially in the back room because you meet a lot of new people. So how other people do stuff as well.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, like how we do stuff
Yeah.
versus how they do it.
Yeah.
Some people kind of prep their lifters in a different way. Some people have fun in there. Some people are more monotone.
Don't talk to me. And all
Yeah,
that.
don't talk to me.
Some people love getting slapped as well.
Some people love getting
I
slapped.
actually hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
used
me
to
too.
love it.
Yeah.
We used to love
It was like my
Used to
first
be a
year.
thing
My
back
first
then.
year, I
Plus,
actually liked
yeah,
getting slapped,
like-
and now I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't.
I used to love getting them at plus fitness, and now like if somebody touches my back, I'm just like
Yeah, I was like, don't, please don't touch me.
instead of turning to like, yo, what's his name again? Voldemort. With his fucking.
Yeah. Do you see yourself maybe potentially taking care of someone by yourself?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Maybe
Yeah.
not
Not
as-
anytime soon. I'm not qualified for it.
Well, you
right now.
kind of did that at the normal count, remember?
Oh yeah. Oh god, that was
That was a whole
a
thing.
rough
That
one.
was a whole thing.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. That's a whole new thing.
You wanna
But
talk about it or?
Nah.
nah, it was just like out of a sprite thing. It was like out of the moment. Somehow it just landed another guy.
Yeah,
on
but
me.
that's the other thing too. Where it's like even at comps where it's like you see. Everyone kind of knows every lifter in a way where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this person's got this person as a coach, and there's always that one lifter that doesn't have a coach.
Yeah.
And you kind of just help them out.
Everyone's always like, there's always someone that will walk up to them and be like, hey, do you need help?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they always look lost.
Yeah, you can really tell when someone
Yeah.
doesn't have a lifter.
Yeah.
because you're just roaming around, just like
And a lot of coaches, I feel like, are always open to just being like, hey, you should be doing.
Oh, yeah, 100%,
You
yeah.
should be doing
Like-
this at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that at that time. And
Yeah.
they'll just give free input. Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, even though it's like a competition, we all want to see each other do well. We don't
Yeah.
want to see people miss lifts.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fun of it. Yeah.
What would you do in a situation where, let's say, you give a number and then that particular lifter was like, "Oh, I can do more. I'm feeling
That-
But
good."
it really just depends on
Yeah,
like,
that-
the what's fucking what is it called? Energy.
It's
The
the,
energy.
Adrenaline.
the
the
adrenaline,
adrenaline that
yeah.
the lifter has.
Some people
is-
are able to maybe
Yeah.
actually be able to do it. Some people might not be.
But
able
that
to.
just comes down to training as well. Like, how is if you pay attention to your lifters enough during training, you can see how they lift during training, how their warm-ups move, versus how the top set moves, and it's kind of the same thing here. Where it's like you're seeing their warm-ups move in person in real time, and then you make the jump based off that and based on how they feel.
Yep.
If someone's like, hey, if I plan like 260 for someone and they move their second attempt on like an RPA. And like, I can do 270. It's like, I don't think you can. So it's like,
What do you mean?
it's-
Remember on my comp, I had like 205,
Yeah.
and it was at like a 8 for squats, and then afterwards I was like, I want 220. No, you're getting 217. Let up 220, I still got it. Might have been like a 9-second grind, but I still got it.
But yeah, again, that depends on the lifter too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, with Josh, we really saw that. Where it's like, I think the original plan for me was I wanted him to pull 260, maybe 265. And then we started warming up. I think he got to 170 warm up, and I was like, bro, I'm fucking on.
Yeah, like he finished at 170.
Yeah.
He loaded it. I was like, how are you feeling? Bang! And I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. He's
Like
on,
his
like, you know what I
energy
mean?
was there.
Yeah.
You
his
can really
horse was
tell
moving.
when like,
Yeah.
especially if you train with them or you kind of know them.
Yeah.
Like Coach Klein, obviously.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you see how they react to certain stuff.
Yeah, when someone's on, you know they're on.
Yeah, like,
And it's
without
you
even
can-
just, like,
you
think.
can kind of make that jump.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I arguably could have went heavier than 275.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So you never know until you know the person, kind of thing, eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all on the day as well. Like if you, even though you have your attempts planned, it's all dependent on the day.
Yeah, there's always like an A, B, C. Plan
Yeah.
A, B, and C. You know what I mean? Plan A, best case scenario. B, you know,
Yeah.
like the planned jump. A is like best case scenario. You know what I mean? You just have different scenarios that you want to play to.
Yeah, just
So,
based on
yeah.
how they feel. Because then the lifter will do their lift, they'll walk off, and then you kind of just have a little chat with them. And it's like, hey, how does that feel? How are you feeling? And what are you thinking?
Yeah.
right now?
Some people can find that switch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people can walk back after like a shitty second attempt, be like, fuck, I feel like shit. But let's say they need a big squat.
Yeah.
They can switch that on and then be able to do it. Yeah, it's just, I feel like it's more of an experience thing as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like-
why I'm always so much for like lifters just competing just to compete and not just like chasing numbers as well. Like a lot of people now as well with Nats coming up, Nats qualifying is a lot harder.
Yeah.
Like I barely qualified for Nats last year, and now it's like because it's harder to qualify, people are like, oh, I don't really feel like competing because I'm not going to qualify anyway. But it's like it's nice to just compete anyway and just get that comp experience out the way.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a different environment, and sometimes it even reignites the motivation
Yeah.
to push harder in training. And so, Yeah, whether you're gonna qualify or not, just compete, get the experience. I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
How was your experience, David, when you were treating them? What was Josh's main like concern when he came to you? When he did come to you?
Josh should really come for me. Pat did.
Pat did.
Yeah, Pat went to you
his
pretty often.
Yeah.
lats was spazzing. He actually
Damn.
needed it. I think after he failed. No, it was after squats. Yes, after
His
squats.
240,
After his
240 in training.
oh no, at like oh no,
At the comp,
yeah.
didn't you tell me that? I didn't fucking
Yeah,
know.
I didn't even know that. Like, I heard like throughout like
So
before comp.
his last attempt at squats, he ran to me. He was like, "David, can you please release my lats?" I got you. So yeah, I was spending a couple of minutes releasing the lats. No, but I think having me there would help benefit them as well. Cause
Yeah. That's pretty
especially when you're on the adrenaline, you're kind of like thinking about everything. You kind of fuck the muscles, and then after when you're kind of like coming down, you're like, "Oh shit!"
You start feeling it.
You start feeling
Yeah.
it, and then you got like, "Oh shit, I got deadlift coming."
You
down.
being involved there does probably will help.
Yeah.
As well, because like if it's like the First Nations comp with Lennox.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lennox he's both his calves locked up.
Yeah.
And he was like borderline about to bomb out.
Me and Jason were
And
like,
like,
in the back.
I don't know if you know him and Jason Bowie. You might not know him. But yeah, Jason Bowie. They were both just
We're
full
just
raw
hammering
dogging
into
him,
his
bro.
calves.
Just full hammering
Yeah.
him. Like they were full like knuckle in, like full like
Yeah.
releasing that. Still got his third.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So yeah, I feel like you being involved there,
Yeah.
it helps a lot. So
Yeah.
just trying to getting your
Yeah, I'd love to
stuff out
be
there.
present more often, but again, I don't know if the gym allows that. So,
Tried asking.
Yeah. You haven't tried asking, have you?
no, but
Just give them something in return. Just be like, give you a free back rub or something, to the boss.
I mean, not wrong. But I always assume that every gym has their own go-to chiro physio or in-house or like a referral.
Hey, if you don't ask, the answer's always no.
Yeah.
That's true. But
You miss gamblers quit 99% of the time before they hit that 1%. Did I say that right? I don't know if I did. Don't gamble though. Don't gamble.
Did you treat them at all during prep?
Yeah, during.
oh yeah. So Pat, when I first saw him, he came in with. This is way before probably right after novice. He's very was it unstable shoulder
Stability.
stability was very unstable. We did a couple of tests for a guy who can bench more than 100. We did a test where it was testing rotator cuff strength.
God damn it, that thingy.
With it, for a guy who bench 150, oh no, he was doing benching 120 back then.
It was basically like 145.
Yeah,
150.
145, bro.
Yeah, around there. So
What do you mean, bro?
this is like ages ago. I don't
Bro,
remember.
Pat, you should bash him for saying that, bro. Think you only bench 120.
But no, I was pushing his hand in and it just collapsed. For a guy who benched pretty heavy, that shouldn't be happening. So,
Why do you think it was happening?
because his shoulder is very unstable, so he's basically the rotator cuff muscles are kind of that connects between the shoulder and the chest. It's not really as strong as it should be.
Yeah.
So when he's benching more of his shoulder than his body, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so he's compensating.
He's pushing.
compensating.
He's pushing with the little shoulder.
Yeah.
Not with the actual like the whole.
Yeah.
Chest
Yeah.
and all
The
that
whole
as well.
system.
Yeah.
But no, we got that nice and checked, and then ever since we fixed that issue, his bench has gone up quite a lot, and then ever since then, and Josh, it's just been maintenance. Oh, Josh is a perfect example of last episode. If you watched, we talked about people who don't talk about the issues until it's too late.
Oh yeah.
So,
I totally remember that. It was only 2 days ago.
so when we had our all-in novice comp, I was doing. Sorry, I was doing.
What's this guy doing, bro?
I was doing free chiro for the people at the novice comp.
Why did
and,
I get that?
You were doing that downstairs. No, I did you after.
Oh,
At the
yeah,
end.
you did. You did.
Anyways.
Was it free, was it?
No, because you wanted a full session. Oh,
Ah.
and then Josh has never came to me. Yes, he didn't have any particular injuries where it's kind of like inhibiting from doing stuff, but he was like, "Oh, I'll just do it for fun. I'm already here." And then I did my assessment and I touched his SI and holy shit,
Touched him, yeah?
I touched him, yeah. But I was looking at his SI and holy shit, that shit was locked up. When I was touching it, it was just stiff like a rock. And I was telling him like, bro, it shouldn't be this stiff. And I got someone else to kind of
Oh,
like,
he's very extended when he does
very
that
yeah. So
stuff,
he's yeah.
See, I'm learning. I'm actually learning, yeah.
But the thing is, he didn't know that I think he knew he had it, but
A lot of people don't know that they have issues.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Because you don't know, like, if you've never done something right, you don't know what's right from wrong.
Exactly. I think he knew, but not really. But anyways, I touched it. I was assessing, and then it was pretty bad. And I got someone else to kind of lie down, and I was assessing him. I was like, "Hey, Josh, this is what you're supposed to feel." And he was touching. I was like, "Oh." So yeah. So again, this is like another example of he wasn't actually injured, but he did have issues about that was never looked at until someone actually looked at it.
Yeah, okay.
So ever since then, Pat and Josh has been coming to me like just once a month at the end of every last week of the block, the peak week, just for maintenance, just checking out what's going on, what needs to be fixed, and then before saying, I think they were pretty much good to go.
Yeah, that helps us catch on to stuff
early on.
earlier.
yeah,
That way
yeah.
it doesn't turn into injuries.
Preventative measures.
Preventative.
From
Prehab.
PSPE, baby.
Yeah, do your prehab.
But yeah,
Yeah, I do. Not on the episode, man.
but yeah, any issues I always go up to Tony and be like, hey, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Depending on who's under whose coach, I'll try my best to hit up that coach and be like, hey, this person has this and this and this.
Do you want a session?
hey, I just finished a client. I'll give you a free session as well. Shout me out.
Well, I try my best not to step on anyone's toes. It's more like, hey, look, this is what I found. This is my suggested exercises or rehab.
Feel free to put it in.
Feel free to put in your thing. I don't say, do bloody lat pull down or something. I just say you just need to focus on more lat activation. This is some exercises or alternative ways to do lat pull down to kind of activate the lats, and then I'll let them know, let the coach know, and then we kind of work together and just be like, hey, look, blah blah blah, and then we just teamwork make the dream work.
No.
So that's what I do with Tony since day one, and then
I was gonna be just Tony.
there's other coaches. My main boy is Tony, because he's my coach as well. But also the other guys, so Kelvin and then Ben.
Yeah, but there's also there's a lot of things that us as coaches we know. Like I generally, whenever I tell someone to go to David, it's like I have a hypothesis, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just helps confirm that whether it's the issue or not, and then it just helps us figure out the next steps of getting them better faster as well. Yeah.
You'll be amazed at the amount of things me and Tony find that we don't think that we actually did fine. You know what I mean? So we're like, oh shit, what the fuck? You got bad ankles or something.
And that's the cool thing about just talking to each other all as well.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, because we kind of just run ideas off each other, and it's like, hey, do you think that he has this? I was like, I don't know, let's find out.
And then we just fuck around and
It's like
find out.
working together, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good.
Collaboration, bro.
And also
big
the
words
fact that-
today, bro. I'm learning some big ass words. God damn.
And it definitely helps since me and Tony, we always go downstairs, we always try things out, trial and error, and then
Basement.
We have 2 levels, by the way. There's no basement.
This is the downstairs.
Yeah, this is the downstairs before he makes it sound weird.
well, upstairs.
You should have seen
my
how you
office is
said it.
upstairs.
We go
Anyways.
downstairs to try things out.
Well, my office is upstairs, so it's kind of like when we downstairs. But anyways, it's good. There's no trial and error and whatnot. And then let's say we have someone that has that particular or the same issue. It's kind of like, we've had that issue before, and then we kind of not easy fix, but it's kind of like, we kind of know what to do.
We
now.
know what to do. Yeah.
It's like a step program kind of thing.
100%. Yeah. But obviously,
You have like a structure on how stuff works, basically. Yeah.
But obviously, everyone's different. But again, it doesn't hurt to ask. And with Josh and
It would
Pat.
hurt if you don't ask.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
Chop.
But anyways, with Josh and Pat, they it was just maintenance, no serious injuries. Probably for Pat on the day, I reckon the last third attempt for his squat, he went pretty hard.
Yeah. It was a big push.
Yeah,
it was
could have been a
push.
big
it was a
push.
big push.
Should have been
Then
better.
His lats were spazzing out a little bit, so we did a couple of
Yeah,
releases.
I actually
and-
didn't know that until today.
Yeah, this guy told
Today's the
them.
first time hearing about
To
it.
be fair, he did tell the person that's most qualified for it.
Yeah.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
he did. Oh no, it was Josh. Because I treated Josh's lat.
Oh yeah, because
Before,
when he was setting up for bench, he was cramping up.
It was cramping up.
Yeah.
See, they don't need you when they have you.
But yeah. So again, that's where communication lacks. So
I was
Pat-
so confused. Yeah.
maybe
I didn't
tell
know
Tony
what
next
I'm
time.
Because Josh came up to Tony.
But I know you could figure it out because I've done it to you.
Yeah, and he was just like, I was overhearing it. He was like, Tony, my lat's locked up. And I'm just like,
Cool.
I'm just saying that.
Don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me.
I was like, don't turn to me. And he was like, go to Tommy. And I'm like, fuck! And I was like, oh,
Just
I'm
stretch it
full,
out.
it was like a whole memory phase. I'm just like, well, has this ever happened before? Has this ever happened to me before?
That's literally just throwing you in the deep end and just
yeah,
figuring it
and
out.
I was like, oh, wait, this happened to me before. Just releasing it. And he was like, oh, I feel good. And I'm like,
I did that.
yeah, I did that. That was me. I saved him. But yeah, it was more on the spot.
Yeah. How do you normally deal with people who fail attempts? Because obviously, after you fail an attempt, your morale just go.
It just depends on who you are. Some people do, some people don't. It's just like...
In terms of Josh and Pat, what did you specifically?
well, they failed their last attempt, so I mean, all it
Can't
was...
really do much.
All it was
You
just
kind of
really-
just prep them on
Yeah.
into the next
Yeah.
bench or deadlifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just... Let's say someone fails their first or second attempt. It's understanding why they failed. So my concern with Pat initially was I was concerned that he was going to miss depth. So if he were to have failed a lift on depth, I know that he has a strength for it. It's just a matter of whether he can get lower on the next attempt or not. Yeah. So if I'm confident that Pat can squat lower if I go heavier, then I'll probably load it heavier.
Yeah, what do you mean? If it's
heavier,
heavier, it pushes you down more.
Physics.
No.
Physics, gravity.
Yeah,
science.
but if he had missed depth on his first attempt, I probably would have just got him to retake it and just explain like, hey, I know that we can go heavier, but we need to lock in an attempt. Yeah. If we don't lock it in, then you're bombing out.
My portfolio, I need this. You can't bomb out.
Yeah, it's a balance between like we know what he's capable of and where we want to push to, but if someone misses an attempt, you just have to adapt to it, and it's like, okay, what's the best thing that we can do now that's the safest? Like, okay, if we go up, what if he misses again? If we keep it the same, what if we miss out on kilos on the third attempt? And it's like trying to weigh out the pros and cons of that. In this case, they weren't going to qualify. There was nothing that they could have done to qualify.
But they probably knew that beforehand.
Yeah, they knew that beforehand. So if they were to have missed their first, second attempt, retake it, just lock it in. Yeah. There's no point pushing in it and risking it. But if someone's like, hey, if you're in a battle of first and second, then it's like...
You have to take in consideration of that.
Yeah, you have to take into consideration of that.
So it's
like
more game day. Yeah. Whatever happens on game day.
Yeah, like, if lifter A needs to hit a 240 squat, lifter B needs to hit a 245 squat, and they miss an attempt, they're not hitting 245. But if they miss an attempt based on calls, okay, maybe we know that they can push more and just keep going with the plan as is, and just be like, hey.
Depends what you're dealing with.
It just depends on what happens.
Yeah, so if it's like an RP9, you're not going up. You're not going up. If it's like, you missed the recommend, you have room to go up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
just make sure you just wait.
Just wait, You just, most of the time, you just be like, wait!
Yeah.
Like, you will hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to, like, more comps, you realize that a lot of coaches are very vocal. So, like, let's say Tony's coaching me.
Yeah.
I miss, like, a press command. I'll be coming down, just like, wait! Like, you will hear them. Like, they'll scream it. And then that kind of just...
Yeah.
So it's just whatever you're dealt with in the day.
Yeah.
You gotta deal with it.
Just for those listening with comps powerlifting, there's actual commands that you have to follow. So you can't just go boom boom, right? It's just actual.
I thought we went off topic.
No, I'm just trying to let the viewers know as well.
Yeah. Alright, for squats there's
there calls for squats and deadlifts.
There's calls for every lift.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have the start rack command for squats.
Yeah.
And you have the start press rack command for bench, and then the down command for deadlifts.
No, it's always like one of these.
Bench is generally the one where people miss commands
Because it's more
technical as well.
And that's also...
Would you say it's more technical?
No, it's just a lot more to think about. A lot more words to listen to.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it just depends on how you train. Like if you train with commands, then generally it's just like second nature of like, I'm not pressing it when I feel like pressing it, I'm pressing it when I hear the call.
Yeah.
But then the people that don't train with commands, they're the ones that generally like...
Suffer.
Just go straight into the bench.
Yeah, because it's
especially
like
with the new light
they're pressing off how they feel like a press should feel like versus pressing off someone calling it out.
Yeah.
So
because apparently this time around the courses were pretty full on. Right?
I think the calls are pretty. I think bench calls are they were relatively long. I feel like, but I think for some people it was more fair.
Yeah,
like, they definitely went fast.
Yeah, like. It's just whatever judges on the day. You can't really cry about it as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have to deal with
it.
You might. That's why you always train with like the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest rule of thumb by James, literally by James.
If it's like if you're
like the shit that he put out.
If you're those people that are like, it'll be the comp day, it might not be because you never know what happens on comp.
But you see what we used to do at Omega, or especially fucking James.
Oh yeah.
You don't know Edgy James, bro. He would it would be bench. We'll unrack it, hold it, he'll just be like standing there. He'll just be eating.
Yeah.
He'll just be like, start. And he'll give you like a really fucked up press.
Yeah, he just makes it random every time.
And if let's say you're doing sixes and you ask for presses, you're fucked. Because one will be like 20 years long, the other will be like 1 second long.
Yeah, because people try to anticipate the press call.
That's
when you get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's
you just have to
train.
It's a really good way to train. Yeah, but it's just really hard. It's really hard to train too.
If you do get calls, try to get calls from different people.
Interesting.
Because different point of views, especially.
Yeah.
Because once you get it from the same person, you kind of get like a rhythm of how they do it.
You get to familiarize with that.
Yeah, because then you come down and you're like, I don't know how this guy's going to give me a press.
Yeah.
Unless they know to not give you the same press, then fair enough.
Yeah. So the more unexpected, the better.
Yeah, the more unexpected, the better. Because that's what I did with Josh. So the week before comp, he went 162, yeah? 160, no, 152.
155, 157.
Was 152, 157, wasn't it?
155.
Oh, 155. He won
Actually, no,
155. Yeah, it was one of those. And then I think the first call was a bit fast, so he made it look pretty good. And he came up to me, he was like, because Tony wasn't here, he was like, where should I go? And I was like, what do you want? It's like 160. And I was like, you're doing with calls, right? I was like, yeah. And I was like, how about you go 157 and like I'll tell the person giving you calls to do these calls. And he's like, oh yeah, all right. He did 157. It was like perfect after me.
Yeah, 160 would not have been there.
Yeah, 160 would have not. It would have been there if he grinded it out like crazy, but it wasn't worth it. But yeah, like because I gave him that comp day, he 157 a lot better. Yeah, because he now knows how to actually press off like a long pause.
Yeah,
because he came from like pausing, not fast, but it wasn't.
He didn't get calls until like the block before.
Yeah, the block before, which is why I was like,
yeah, he didn't get a lot of practice with it.
Because I think I told Sienna, it was Sienna, yeah.
Yeah.
Sienna, I was like, give him a bit longer pause, and she was like, why? And I was like, just trust me. And then yeah, because of that at comp, it was long calls, so it worked out. Yeah. So because if you hit that 160, in my mind, what would have happened was, let's say you hit that 160 with like a mediocre pause, he would have anticipated 157 on the day to be the same call.
Yeah.
Would not got it. Yeah.
Or especially when you're like doing that easy one rhythm calls, and then let's say if I were rocks comp day and I was like 2 seconds, the fuck, I never trained with 2 seconds. And
You start psyching yourself out a lot.
And by the time you're doing the bench, it's like, oh fuck, it's been more than what I
you
usually do, and then
especially with like a bench thing where you don't want to think. The biggest thing with bench is you don't want to think.
Yeah.
It's crazy that I'm saying this because I think the most strict bench. But yeah, like you don't want to think when you're benching.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about that shit, it's not gonna be a good day.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like you said before, just prepare yourself for the worst case scenario, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because
then you get used to let's say you train at the worst case scenario, like no aircon, comp day there's no aircon, you're gonna adapt to it. You know what I mean? So if you want the aircon, on comp day, let's say it's 40-degree heat, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're so bad.
Like if you're always training in perfect conditions, the second something goes wrong comp day, you start stressing.
You start stressing out and you start failing at everything.
Yeah.
It was like at States. States was hot as at Action.
Yeah.
And like luckily this place is hot as. So I was perfectly fine. But for somebody, let's say, not gonna name it, lift the B. I'm sure I say his name, but we can redact it out. Dylan. He trained at another gym.
Yeah.
And like
he was very comfortable training with aircon.
because it was really nice in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it was very cool. As soon as he got to game day,
I was
like
borderline heat stroke.
Yeah, he was borderline heat stroke. He was like, is that how you say it?
He was having heat.
Stroking heat. He was borderline stroking heat.
Stroking
yeah,
heat.
like he was like dying, like sweating bollocks and everything.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, it was like the two natures.
And it's just like the shock of that versus like how you process things mentally. It's like, oh, he's stressed.
Yeah, because you're stressed now. Because now you're thinking
about.
about something else.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about the game day itself. You're thinking about, fuck, am I even going to make it?
Yeah.
I mean, like, am I going to get sent to the ER? Am I going to get a PR or ER? You know what I mean?
PR,
So,
That's a good one.
You start second guessing yourself a lot. So that's what you should do for comp. Let me do your press commands.
Sure.
Yeah, you gotta train outside when it's raining.
Yeah, straight outside when it's raining. So let's say on comp day it starts raining on top of you somehow, like there's a leak. Yeah, you're good. You should bench with water on you, like getting phone on you.
This is not the Chinese torture.
We got it.
Nope.
Is when they
One water droplet every
just forever and then you get mentally fucked.
Yeah, because like your brain is like, what the fuck? How the fuck did we get to this Chinese torture method?
You said water leaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll be down to need to training for coming up to.
Whoa, why'd you look at us like that?
Yeah, those are the different things that we have to think about. Like going from previous comp to current comp, it's like a lot of things that you need to change. Where it's like, what can we do to make their training better? And then same thing with how they perform on comp day. Like, okay, we knew from the first comp that Josh and Pat were generally pretty quiet and they weren't very hype. And then we managed to get them kind of switch on a bit more during prep. And we got them switch on during
100%.
comp.
They switched on during comp, like, I think third attempt deadlifts. Josh was
on fire, bro.
like, he was just like,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn,
And
son.
those are the things that you try to build on for the lifter as they train, so they can do the same thing in comp.
But some people just don't work like that.
Yeah, some people are generally more calm.
This guy doesn't even listen to music. I bet you don't even know
Yeah,
this.
I stopped listening to music.
He doesn't even listen to music at all.
Since Omega, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, not a single like he won't even change the music. He'll
Yeah, like
just
I don't
change to
really
any music.
care what music's going on, but then there's like this certain music where it's just like, what the fuck are we listening to this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think for myself anyway, like I need like three minutes before my lift to be like, okay, this is my period to switch on, and that's all I need. Like, I don't need anything specific. Yeah. And other people are like, I need to play
philosophies.
this certain song at this certain time.
Yeah. Some people are
And
like,
I need the bar to be loaded at this certain time.
Yeah.
yeah. Some people are like, I'm not gonna name names, but like they're like looking over the banner, like, oh shit, is the time? And it's
Yeah.
like, take it off at this time. You know what I mean? Like they
yeah.
really like niche about that, but that's just how they train.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
so
I'm saying?
it's-
if it works for them, it works
Yeah,
for them. You know what I mean?
again, it goes back to the whole ritual thing as well.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah.
Philosophies. We should talk about that next episode. Different lifters' philosophies and
Yeah.
how they train.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little sneak peek. This episode.
I think the three of us are pretty different too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how I train and treat. Yeah, I think
What did
did
you
you
say?
say?
Weak?
no, that philosophies of how we train and how I treat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah.
things.
Well,
Do you listen to music?
yeah. I listen to music.
Fuck, I feel like I'm more like the fucking anime editor or some shit to get me tuned up or something.
That's fine.
Hey, that's fine. Like, look at me. I listen to Oppenheimer. You know,
That's
Oppenheimer-
right. Oh, I listen to Attack on Titan as well.
Yeah,
So
Oppenheimer, Attack on Titan.
it's funny,
Interstellar,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's funny if you hear those music, you look downstairs. It's either Sammy or Tommy that's lifting.
What do you mean? Sammy's just. No, Sammy is the anime hard style edits.
Yeah.
Every
Oh,
single time
okay,
it's
yeah,
like Goku, Vegeta shit. It's like,
So I like Sammy too. Then
Yeah.
Sammy similar.
We'll talk about that next episode. Maybe
yeah.
we'll bring Sammy along. Maybe. Who
He's
knows?
in the background. And you got Ben with his Texas music.
Yeah, like
country.
everybody has their own
Yeah.
way of training. You have fucking James who trains to like.
Oh, we used to train in Luke Chain.
Daddy's home,
Yeah.
home for you. Yeah, like
yeah.
we used to train to Luke Chain together.
yeah, like he was literally singing our comp.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
it works, it
last
works.
squat, he literally headbutted the banner, nearly made it
The
forward.
banner almost fell over.
The banner almost fell over, and he goes, and he switches back to go train. Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's understanding for yourself and your lifters, like how long do they need to switch on,
Yeah.
and then you give them that much time, and just if someone needs like 2 minutes, then they only need 2 minutes, and make sure that before that they're not trying to switch on. That way they don't try to switch on too early.
Yeah.
I made that mistake myself during my first novice comp, where it's like my third attempt was like going to be a PR, and so as soon as I hopped off the platform for the second attempt, I just started like zoning in. And it was like fucking 15 minutes because there was like some technical delay.
Yeah.
And then I think I walked onto the platform with like jelly legs, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm not
You're
ready
too
for this."
G'd. You over G'd.
Yeah, yeah. I
End up getting it?
Huh?
Did you end up getting it?
It came out like halfway, but my legs were shaky, bro, before I even started.
During comps, I know there's a lot of rivalries in sports in general. Would you say in powerlifting there's a lot of rivalries, or maybe like rivalries?
There's a few.
There's a few.
There's a few. I mean, there's always like those top lifters that are almost always competing with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every weight class has their own like top 2, top 3.
The biggest one's probably like
Andrew Yuki.
Andrew and Yuki. Andrew Yuki, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been at it for
They
like
were
3
neck
years.
and neck at
wow.
Yeah, neck and
Worlds.
neck. Worlds,
Yeah.
neck and neck at Nats.
every comp that
yeah,
they do,
every
yeah.
comp they've done together, they're neck
Yeah.
and neck. There's
I mean,
been
it's also
times where,
fun.
like-
It's
yeah.
kind of like
It's fun, yeah. It's
It's
always
fun.
fun because
Yeah.
it's
It's
like
really, really fun to watch
you're
as well.
all chasing the same spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're
And,
all chasing the same thing, ticket
yeah.
to worlds.
Yeah, and like even the people that aren't at the top, like there's always like the handful of people somewhere else that are like, oh, these 2-3 people are close together and they just fight against each other.
Yeah, they fight
Yeah.
against each other,
Yeah.
and that's
And-
also fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's not just the first two. That's the good thing about powerlifting.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
especially with like
brackets.
other sports, yeah. Like, let's say you watch NRL, you don't really want to watch like Tigers versus Dragons. You know, what I mean, you don't really care about that unless you go for them. Then
Yeah.
fair enough. But like when you kind of see like
Storm and Panthers.
Storm and Panthers, you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
They're top
so it's
two.
like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
top 2 or like nothing.
Yeah.
For
I
them,
know
or
what
it's
you
like
mean.
top 8
Yeah,
or nothing.
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
but
like,
with powerlifting, it's like
Powerlifting's everything.
It doesn't matter like what your total is. It's just like these are their numbers and their numbers are
Yeah.
close. And, it's
And
like,
then you
oh.
start seeing other people playing it as well. Like a lot of
Yeah, everyone in the crowd is
Yeah.
like calculating.
Yeah,
shit.
everybody's in the crowd just like, oh shit, if he hits this, he's gonna win. Like, it's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
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 You're gonna see that a lot at nationals. Yeah,
It's a calculation.
are we cutting that out? We better cut that out, eh? We're gonna cut that out. Look, the mosquitoes on top of you. Look how big it is.
Oh,
Yeah, it's so massive. Not you, Dave. I'm talking about Tony.
Yeah, it's literally during like it's the junior nats.
Yeah.
Junior nats, like I think there was like 15 of us in a corner, and we're all just on our phones.
Yeah,
tapping numbers.
like,
I'm
oh
like,
my god,
what does Simon need to win?
it was like, no, it was like the half of the room.
Yeah, it was like a lot.
Everybody
it was
was
a lot
on
of
their
people.
phone, and like you look on one side, somebody might have like a crazy ass sheet to do it. Somebody's using fucking notes. Some other person just doing a calculator, forgetting. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it's
those are the
really
things
fun to
that the coaches themselves too. They consider it before comp days even started.
Yeah.
Like they know roughly what the next person's going to hit, and that's how we have to play around it too.
I don't know. A lot of the time, it's kind of let's hope that guy fails.
Yeah, yes and no. It's just
Yeah.
like
You're kind of praying for the downfall, not really.
yeah,
Mentally, you are. But
yeah.
obviously, you're not hoping for it. But
It's competition where everyone wants everyone to do well.
yeah,
And it's more fun that way too. Like you hate like to see if someone's not hitting their list because of like they didn't hit death or something. It's like I know I can beat them now, but it's like damn. I
Like, you
wish-
don't feel good. You want to
Yeah.
beat them in a fair match.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like if I tore my hamstring and I was versing you, you would probably be like, "Oh, I don't care, bro. He's gonna win."
Hey,
Like,
don't
I'm
hate
gonna
the
win."
player, hate the game. So I'll take the win.
You know, you don't want to win by default. You want to win by like
Yeah, proper.
You wanna-
actual competition.
yeah,
you know
yeah.
Because then you kind of deserve that spot in like whatever comp you want to
You
do.
Yeah.
fought for it. You went through the whole like prep to it as well. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, the prep actually meant something. Versus
Yeah.
when someone gets injured, it's like,
I
did
did all that
prep-
just for this. Like I feel bad now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should close it off there.
Yeah. We have a lot of stuff to talk about next. We should write it down now. Or we should put on this episode so we remember.
Yeah.
Philosophy of every lifters. That was
Yeah, we'll talk about how
we'll talk about mental.
we talked a little bit about it, but who knows? Maybe we'll bring someone on.
Yeah.
We'll bring someone on and kind of get an insight on how they think about lifting and how they go through competition because everyone's different. Everyone has their own little bits and pieces.
Let's bring James on.
Well, let's see if he wants to.
I'll actually text him right now. He would actually be like, I'm gonna offer him like a Lanzao beef noodle. We're closing it off. We're closing it off. All right.
Yeah,
see
we'll
you guys next time. Bro, no. What?
Good. Barry's